Joining me now live is J.R. Ujifusa, a senior deputy district attorney for Multnomah County, and you specialize in sex trafficking cases. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you've been working sex trafficking cases for years now. How involved were you and the DA's office regarding this proposal in City Council?
You know, we look at ways to be victim-centered and trauma-informed, and so we worked with Councilor Novik's office in the Portland Police Bureau. We're always looking for ways to hold offenders accountable, but be creative because it's such a complicated issue.
Mm-hmm. If it passes, how do you think it would help address sex trafficking in the county?
Yeah, it's one of many tools we use. Like I said, our focus is on helping victims and being trauma-centered, but then also holding offenders and buyers accountable. And this is one of the many tools we can use. It's sort of the last resort when businesses or property owners aren't willing to help, aren't willing to acknowledge what maybe they're enabling or helping. And so it's a tool that we can use to sort of bring attention to the crime that's going on in neighborhoods and communities, because we hear from communities that they're sick of it.
Do you think that kind of policy change can make a meaningful difference, or will the activity just shift to a different section of Portland, say if they crack down on certain motels?
Yeah, I hope it will make a meaningful difference, because ultimately if they move locations, or if they think, oh, I'll just move to a different stretch of the city, this is citywide, this ordinance. And I think it will also help, we focus on sex trafficking, it will help educate business owners about what to look for and how to abate these crimes.
You mentioned how this problem is multi-layered. So beyond that proposal, are there other tools that the city could consider that would help law enforcement address sex trafficking operations?
You know, resources are always one conversation to have, right? More officers, more detectives, more DAs, and those sorts of things would always be helpful. But we're looking at, you know, more services for victims would be helpful, more housing options, the ability to help those individuals who want to get out of life, and then also resources to help hold those people accountable and educate the public on what's going on around them.
You mentioned more housing options. Are you insinuating that many of these victims are homeless?
No, but I think they may be in housing situations where they have a lack of choices, or maybe because of who they're living with or who's aiding them in housing, it may not be the best situation for them and may continue to sort of facilitate trafficking.
From your perspective, how has the problem here changed or evolved over the years?
Yeah, so I've been doing this since 2008. Street level prostitution and trafficking was rampant at that point. It went online for a while, and because of some enforcement on websites and things of that nature, I think neighbors are seeing it more in their area. One of the things, because we're victim-centered, we are not arresting victims. We're helping them get out of life, we're giving them resources, but what that also means is that it's more visible to community members because they're not hiding. They know they're not going to get arrested. They know that officers are there to help them, to provide advocacy for them and services. And so I think it's a little bit more visible to the community. And when I hear from the community, that's one of the issues they have, especially around high schools and junior highs and places where they live and do business.
So when police conduct these operations, like you mentioned, they often bring those victim advocates with them. Can you talk us through what that process looks like and why are having those advocates there so important?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of individuals would rather talk to an advocate than law enforcement, and I understand why. But those advocates, many of them are survivors, have people with lived experience. So they're there to help them through whatever needs they have, and that is tailored to the person they're speaking with. There are many people who aren't ready, who aren't able to get out of life right at that moment, but it gives them the option to know that there are people they can trust, people who are caring for them, people who aren't looking to throw them in jail or get them in trouble, but people trying to help them with the situation they're in to improve their situation and maybe find a different way to go about doing things.
Before we let you go tonight, what do people in the community often misunderstand about sex trafficking and the people caught up in it?
Yeah, I would say one of the things is that these are local victims, local children, local adults that have been victimized. The average age of victimization for trafficking is between 13 and 15 years old. So most of these individuals, even if they are adults, have been trafficked since they were children. And there's a demand for that, which is concerning for our community.
Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
it.
Okay, now we want to hear from you. What do you think about the council proposal to crack down on property owners for things like sex trafficking? Did anything that the Deputy DA say tonight stand out to you? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.